call it electile dysfunction. It's a little bit crass. But then again, a lot of conservatives clutch their pearls whenever Donald Trump would send out a mean tweet. The first step towards clearing up electile dysfunction is to clean out the voter rolls.
Usually it's the commissioners make the decision whether to get rid of them or not. So we've had all these grassroots across the country, these groups, going to their county commissioners and saying, hey, these machines are defective. They everybody knows what happened in 2020. You bring it in and say, hey, it wasn't you, Mr. Commissioner or Mrs. Commissioner. You didn't do anything wrong. It was done with the machines. Here's the replacement.
What's the connection between this donation? Was this an auction? Did this judge essentially sell your granddaughter to the highest bidder?
Well, I don't know if you're aware of who the judge was. Her name was Judge Stacy Zimmerman. She was also the judge on the case with the 19 kids and counting story that had the police destroy the records of Josh Duggar, who had been molesting some of the children, that has just been found guilty of child pornography.
Lauren Witzke is our executive producer here at the Stu Peters Show. She has more on this story, and she joins us now. I couldn't believe it when I was watching Crosstalk, you and Edward Zoll talking about this. Literal cannibalism. Now these Nazis in Ukraine, at the command of this leather high heels wearing globalist homo, are eating people. This is true?
This guy actually thought that he was eating a Russian soldier. Turns out it was just terrible in itself. But then he actually realized, I guess they found out later, that it was one of his own.
This is probably the biggest story of our lifetimes, and virtually nobody's talking about it, except for James Roguski, who's been tracking this pandemic treaty and organizing resistance against it, especially against a set of proposals called the International Health Amendments.
The amendments to the International Health Regulations. Now, they submitted this in January, and then it went into they put a cloak of invisibility over it. Nobody covered it. From May 22nd to the 28th, they'll be holding the World Health Assembly, which is all of the nations coming to Geneva to decide your future, right? And one of the things that is on the agenda is these amendments. Just like when Nancy Pelosi said, pass the bill, you can read it later.
Yeah.
It seems like that's what they were trying to do. Just have this thing nice and quietly, get approved. And then, Merry Christmas, 6 months later, after the time period to reject it goes by. Oh, congratulations. We've had the Great Reset.
Does it override the Constitution? Does it make the Constitution worthless? Not that anybody respects that from the left anymore anyways.
No. Okay. Unless you're hypnotized into seeing, not being able to see what they're doing. When we got into the WHO, Harry Truman signed a joint resolution with the, full Congress, the Senate and the House. And the wording in that, it very clearly states that, we'll join the WHO, but you can't tell us to do a damn thing, okay? They can make recommendations. But even if these amendments are passed, there's a 6-month period where in Article 61, it clearly states that any nation can just tell the WHO to take their amendments and put them where the sun don't shine. And this is the tip of the spear, Stu. On Article 12, Section 2, Line 6, they want to remove language from the current regulations that essentially say each nation is sovereign. Each nation has the right to declare an emergency for the nation if they want to. And if they don't want to, the WHO can go take a hike. Real simple question to your audience. Do you think it's appropriate for unelected officials to hand over the decision-making process from each nation to Tedros Ghebreyesus, who's seeking to be the dictator general of the World Hypnosis Organization? Or do you think that's treason? And I said the word treason. This has all been done in silence and it's very occult, it's very hidden. And we're just trying to shed some light on what we're seeing in public documents.
Yeah, anybody found guilty of treason should be executed.